Greetings, fellow linguists and linguophiles. I'm here again to speak about languages. Today the topic is endangered languages. Today the topic is endangered and extinct minority languages. Alright? This is one of my number one interests in languages besides from language learning. Alright? I love language learning and I love endangered languages. Now, alright, the topic is endangered languages. So basically, there's a lot of people in the linguistics community, academic linguistics, who will go out to an area where there's an endangered language and they will document it, such as make a dictionary, make a grammar, and possibly set up some type of school or some type of structure where the children can learn their language. Now, I'd like to mention a few resources here. Resource number one is a movie called The Linguists, and it's by K. David Harrison and some other guys. Basically, these guys are they're linguists in the sense academia. When I say linguist, I mean someone who studies it at like a university linguist. Okay, I don't use it for a language learner. That's just me. So these linguists that go out and they will record. They'll take sound recordings of an endangered language. They will do all this stuff with an endangered language to help document it, because once it's gone, there's certain knowledge, there's certain vocabulary, grammatical structures, and just ways to view the world that is lost forever. And so, basically, okay, that's endangered languages. Now for me, I'm very interested in how humans view the world around them. And the way that you can see that in a concrete manner is with a language. Alright, basically, yeah. And so in the world, right, there's all these different languages, and people, the way people view the world around them through language is radically different. Right, here's an example for you. In English, basically, I think time is viewed as like, here's you, the past is behind you and the future's in front of you, and you're walking this way, right? And you can actually have evidence for that when you look at a language. Things like the words for like tomorrow or yesterday, or you can say before I went to the store. So before is like behind or whatever. I'm not good at English because it's my native language, right? And I already know all this stuff about English. But if you look at English concretely, you can find words like behind and for and stuff like that related to time expressions. Alright. Now in Chinese, from what I hear, they view time as more vertically, right? Time is viewed vertically, and it's like the day for yesterday and tomorrow is like up and down, and you can view time like that. So there's one way. So English views time like this, right? Chinese views time like this. And there's a language in somewhere in the mountains of South America where is the opposite. Like time, you're viewed as walking this way through time, right? The past is in front of you because you can see it, you already know what happened. And the future's behind you because you can't see it and you don't know. And so you prove that in the language, right? You find examples where stuff for yesterday is in front. The words for in front mean yesterday, and the words for behind mean future. That to me is absolutely fascinating, alright? So that's why I'm interested in endangered languages, and just like thinking about, okay, how do people see this? How do people view the world around them through language? And then maybe, you know, like maybe I could go in there and help them with their language or something, like help kids learn the language that's going to be extinct. It's kind of a dream I have. I'd like to go into like a community where there's still a lot of native speakers of the language, but it's going to die out because whatever, you know, English is taking over, or something like Russian or Spanish. Maybe go and like make some kind of language learning stuff. The thing is, if you want to save an endangered language, you need to come at it from two directions. Direction number one is from an academic sense, right? You need to make a dictionary and a grammar. You need to take all the knowledge in that language and preserve it with a dictionary and with a grammar. And like, you need more stuff. You need like phonological sketch, you need example sentences, you need all this stuff, right? So, but the thing is, when you have all the information, like, you know, if you're not a linguist, or you're not someone who's familiar with, you know, like the terms used in linguists, not language learners, but a linguist at a university, like a professor of linguistics, right? Then that information, you won't be able to access it. So that's why you need the academic professor of linguistics information, dictionary, grammar, but you also need like information for people who want to learn the language, like a textbook, right? Or like example sentences, you know what I mean, exercise, stuff like that. And when you have that, people can learn the language and eventually develop this intuition for how the language works. It might not, you know what I mean? So, aside from that, the last topic on this video is about it's about accents. All right. Now let's say this is the idea I have. Let's say you have a language that's dead, right? Take example New Zealand. All right. In New Zealand, the language there is extinct, right? Like the only evidence from the New Zealand language is some kind of old recordings, and like when, you know what I mean, when the settlers, or when like the first white people came there, you know, they might have made like a word list or something, but the language is extinct. But people in New Zealand, they're gonna speak with an accent. All right, it's gonna be a New Zealand accent, but then the indigenous people there, they're probably gonna have like an indigenous accent, you know what I mean? So I'm curious about maybe taking that indigenous accent and reconstructing a phonological sketch of the language, like reconstructing what were the sounds of that language, right? So you have like an accent, or like a native, like Hawaiian accent, like, hey brother, what are you gonna go do today? You gonna go down to the beach, maybe you know, play some ping pong or something, right? So it's an accent, right? And you can take those sounds and then you think, okay, maybe in the Hawaiian language some of these sounds existed, right? And you can kind of like, oh, make the sounds of the language. But that would be really hard. It would be really hard to do. I don't really know if people have done that before or what. It's a little idea I have. Alright, thanks friends.